y'all, Olivia here.
And Bill.
We are out here in this Houston heat to answer some of y'all's questions. So this is our first live stream where one of our expert electricians is going to be answering some of the common questions that we received. We're right on I-10. Someone's having a great time this morning. But we're right on I-10. That allows us to get to people pretty quickly. So if there's any background noise, we may pause or we may just talk through it. But we're going to be out here answering some questions. So what we're going to cover today is 3 of the most common things that we see during our summertime months that we're in now. And like I said, Bill is my resident expert who is going to be helping us understand some of those things. So Bill, can you let me know and let the people know how long you've been with the company and how long you've been in the trade?
Yep, so I've been with Mr. Sparky for about 5.5 years. It's the first service company I've worked for. I've strictly been in residential though for almost 10 years. So I'd say that my development has all been residential knowledge. So it gave me a strong hand coming into the service industry, kind of knowing what's going on.
Awesome. This is the guy that you want at your house. It's the guy I'd want at my house. Okay, so the first thing that I want to cover, and before I get into that, if you do have any other questions not related to what we're talking to today, but that you'd like Bill to answer, please feel free to put those in the comments. Michelle is behind the camera. She's been with us for a long time. She's watching for any questions that you have, and she'll let us know. So the first thing I want to cover is that people call in during the summer months and things all of a sudden that weren't tripping, breakers that weren't tripping before are now tripping. And that could be a coincidence or it could be related to the summer months. What would you say?
I'd say more likely it's not a coincidence.
Okay.
Wiring in a house has a job, and when it is at work, it heats up, it expands, it contracts. There's a lot of things that go behind that. So when we start getting to these peak, summertime heats, the entire system as a whole is under stress.
Yeah.
Practically all day long.
Right.
If it's anything like me in my house, the ACs are running really, really hard.
Yes.
As soon as I start to see a small little symptom, there is things I go check at my house, just touch, feel, see if things are hot to make sure that everything's running right. I mean, I've got the kids, so we got to make sure the family stays nice and safe.
Yeah, for sure. We've got ACs running, pool pumps running, fans running, with all those things running.
Yes.
Some of those maybe getting overloaded, and then they could have an electrician come out and inspect and see sometimes if there just needs more capacity.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, it never hurts to have some sort of an inspection done, just an evaluation on the house. Double check those things because you're going to have issues at connection points. You're going to have issues at anything that's going to be outside right now. We've got heat, we've got humidity.
We do.
We've got like I was saying, we've got an entire system that's constantly under stress. Sometimes there is small things that you can do that you probably just need to ask your electrician about.
Yeah.
They can kind of help when I say let the electrical system just breathe for a minute, because we're about to have some long seasons of heat, a lot of stress, and everybody hears the horror stories of things that go wrong in houses.
Right. And so if somebody's, hey Mike's gonna watch us. He's waiting for Bill. I need something from him before we go. We're just gonna finish up here. So if somebody is experiencing breakers tripping, what's kind of your recommendation on maybe let it trip, reset maybe once, maybe twice, but other than that, it's a symptom of maybe something that needs to be checked out.
Yeah, so as I go out to the houses and I talk to people that are having these issues, a breaker trip, maybe once, I just recommend note down the number on the panel of which breaker that is, maybe put a little mark on it. Some people put a little piece of tape on it. That's going to help you identify that one particular, just to make sure that one isn't tripping, on and off. Now, if you're seeing a lot of them throughout the panel keep tripping, then yeah, definitely stop what's happening, make a phone call, let us get out there, let's double check what's going on. 1 to 2, 1 or 2 trips here and there is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
I mean, the systems are working, they're doing their job, they're keeping you, your families, or anybody in the whole household safe.
Right.
But yeah, if that same breaker continues to trip, just reach out and make a call. Let your electrician come take a look at it.
Got it. Thank you. Second thing we wanted to cover is now that we are in the summer months, we're in hurricane season, we're in storm season. In Houston, we've already had some severe weather that's caused some issues for quite a few of our customers. I know we've been out to people that have had electrical surges, that have had lightning strikes. And one thing that we get asked about, sometimes more reactively than proactively,
Yeah, I've got two parts of that. Working during the storm seasons, dealing with just claims, things like that. They're all located around lightning strikes, storm-related issues. One of which we go out to a lot is when those storms happen, lightning hits surrounding areas. It exceeds the rating of all that wiring and most of the things in the house. Now, not to say that everything's going to go bad right away,
right?
But what you run into is breakers trip to try to stop and eliminate problems. My first thing I just want to say is just please don't turn those on. Mark them, because there could be an inward problem that we're not able to see at the time.
Right.
So if you notice that you see a bunch of breakers tripped out the panel after a storm, please just stop. Don't turn anything on. Make a phone call. Let's get an evaluation done.
Right.
Before we start turning on some power to make sure that nothing's going to happen when the current's turned back on.
Yeah.
So second part to it is, yes, surge protection, one of the most important things. I've had it ever since I've learned about it, I've had it in every house I've ever been into.
Yeah.
I lived in an apartment, I put it in,
What a tenant.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just, I've got TVs and, the surround sounds, and then, as a homeowner, you have your ACs, you've got, fridges, appliances, water heaters. Really expensive equipment that uses a lot of very small electrical components that are very easy for that what I call dirty electricity to wipe out, which is what will come in from, power surges and lightning strikes. So a surge protector mounted on the house is basically going to be the first offense. Right? So, of course, it's not the cure-all, but it's going to eliminate so much of that damaging surge to just let it kind of trickle into the house. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything or eliminate those problems like I was saying, but at least being a self-destructive device, and if it goes, you've saved so much in your house. If it's enough to take out that surge protector and you still have things working in your house, trust me, you should be happy.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I think I need a phone. I'm sold. Okay. The third thing that we wanted to cover is a lot of folks who have older homes may have aluminum wiring in their homes, which is more susceptible to that contraction and expansion from weather changes than copper wiring. Can you kind of speak to, if somebody has aluminum wiring in their home, some of the things they may see happening during summer months as a result of that?
Yeah, a lot of, I think there's a lot of talk about aluminum wiring that people always hear about it, oh my gosh, my house is wired in aluminum. We've got to, rewire this thing, we've got to take it all apart, and a little bit of that, yes, can be true. A lot of that as well is, typically aluminum is going to fail at the connection points, so everywhere that wire's cut and then spliced onto an outlet, a switch, a light fixture. There is fixes for that type of wiring, that can help strengthen it. But yes, during these summer peak heats, you're going to have the expansion and contraction, which aluminum does extremely high. It has a very high expansion and contraction rate, which is where the flaws in it came into place. Ultimately, before the season starts getting hot, I know we're already here, but proactively or even into next year, call an electrician, get it double checked, just have them check them to the point, see how it looks, see if some of the equipment's right. Most houses that are wired in aluminum, they've had construction in them. I've run into non-aluminum rated parts put on the aluminum. So those are just some of the things that you want to have somebody check pre this season or during the season before it gets really hot and we're using these ACs even longer. Just make sure that we can proactively keep from something happening.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Michelle, we're checking in. If we have any questions, we can answer those. If not, we can wrap it up.
No questions.
All right. Well, if y'all have any, please feel free to book online at mrsparky-houston.com. You can give us a call or text us at 7139-SPARKY. I don't think it's in the frame, but it's on the truck.
Ask for Bill.
Ask for Bill, and maybe Michelle or I that picks up the phone. We'd be happy to get a lovely guy like Bill or any of our other electricians out there to give you some expert advice, get things safer, get things more comfortable, and take care of y'all in these summertime months. Thanks so much for joining us.